Hi everyone and welcome back to another studio vlog. So welcome to the new week. It is currently Monday and today is the day I'm supposed to be launching my new stickers. However, we have a bit of a problem in that the sticker paper didn't arrive in time for me to actually make them. So I've been able to make these samples, butterflies finally, and this other set of stickers which I designed over the weekend as well, but I haven't been able to print any of them, so I'm hoping that I will be able to launch them tomorrow. That would be ideal, but we'll just have to see what happens because of these, like all these Royal Mail delays. As you know, at the moment there's such high demand on the postal service and they've got such short staff because of everyone's going off poorly with this illness, so it's just one of those things that we're kind of going to work around. It's kind of annoying because I wrote it in my planner, and I'm that sort of person, when you write something in your planner and you have to cross it out, it makes me feel a bit ill. Like, I hate doing that. If anyone else is the same, like once it's in a notebook and you do something wrong, like comment below, give me a thumbs up, because yeah, that sort of stuff really annoys me as a stationery addict. But anyway, so I thought I'd start off with showing you the making of these, which I did over the weekend. So I will pass you over to past Rebecca. everyone, it is now Wednesday afternoon and I thought now would be a perfect time to sit down with a cuppa and answer some of the questions that you asked me on my Instagram yesterday. So I did a post on stories yesterday that I thought it could be quite fun today to do a little Q&A. So you guys sent me some questions which I'm absolutely loving. I hope I can answer them well and articulately. So let's dive straight in. So thank you so much for sending me these. This is amazing. I absolutely love it. So first question, Amy has asked, how do you know where to start with a new business? Oh my goodness, Amy. Well, how to answer this question? Yeah, I think when you're starting a new business, it can be super overwhelming, and it continues to be. As I've continued to grow my business, it's very overwhelming because especially because Facebook and Instagram, as soon as they work out that you're thinking about starting a business or are a business owner, they will start bombarding you with loads and loads of adverts from people telling you that you need to do all of these different things and probably that you need to buy something from them in order to make your business successful. So I think that the first thing you want to think about is, and if you've got an idea, the first thing I would say is just start. Just start working on it. If you've got a few ideas and you don't really know which one to pick, just pick one of them and start working on that, and go with an idea that makes you feel really excited and makes you feel, you have a really good gut feeling about it and you feel like it's something you want to start exploring. And I think the first thing that I would do is, if I was following, I didn't really follow a perfect path in starting a business, and I'll kind of explain that in a minute, but what you want to really work out is the fundamentals of what are you thinking about selling, who are you going to sell it to, where are you going to sell it, and what do you need in order to do all of that, because every business is selling something, whether you're a service-based business or a product-based business. Deciding what you want to sell is really crucial. So if you can just literally write that down on one page, that's basically the skeleton of a business plan. There are loads and loads of books out there, podcasts and videos just like this where people will go into a lot more detail, usually for free, of those different steps. But I think as long as you fundamentally start to understand, okay, well, what am I going to sell and who am I going to sell it to, you can then start to unpick that and go, right, what do I need to do in order to create this thing that I'm going to sell, and how do I test that out with people, and what problem is it solving? So I would just sort of start to map out all the things that you need to do and then kind of break it down and just think, right, I'm just going to do one thing every day on this. Often when it comes to any big goal, I always say, set all your big goal, break it down, keep breaking it down into those tiny actions that you can just do every single day, and that will start to help you move towards making it happen. So the journey I went on with my business, which kind of leads on to our second question actually, but wasn't necessarily that I just had this light bulb moment of an idea and I was like, oh, right, you know what, I want to do this. It was more that for me, I was working in public affairs and policy, and I'd gotten to a certain point in my career, I'd achieved some external goals which were important to me, and I sort of had this a gap that kind of opened up, and I sort of felt like I needed to be doing something and I wanted to do something more creative. So I started doing painting on the side because I'd done I used to love art at school, and I thought, I want to do a bit of painting, which then was a bit like dominoes really. I saw there was an opportunity to take part in a local art exhibition, so I thought, oh well, I'll do that. And I had a weekend art exhibition in this lovely little theatre in Putney in London, which where I live, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it and people really liked my stuff, and I was a bit like, oh, okay. And it kind of sprung from there really, and I think for me, I really liked everything that went with doing the artwork. If I just loved painting and I hadn't loved the business side, it would have been well, I'll just do a bit of painting as a hobby. But I really enjoyed everything that came with that, learning how to set up a website, learning about sales and marketing, and now filming videos for YouTube. It's been a really iterative process, and it wasn't really until, although I started side hustling my business, probably I've always lose track, I've completely lost track now, but maybe 3-4 years ago, it was only 2 years ago that I really nailed down what I wanted to do and really was able to focus on that. So it took a long time for me to work out exactly what my business was going to look like and what my I guess offer was going to be, what my product was going to be. Yeah, so I just say just start, break it down piece by piece, and then just start working on it. I will link below as well. There's a great book called I think it's Startup Toolkit by Emma Jones. I will see if it's still available and I will link it below, because that is a great book as well, which breaks down some of like the legal bits and stuff like that you need to think about as well. So our next question, I kind of feel like I've been answered this a little bit, but it's from lovely Lindsay, who asks, what made you want to start my own business? Have you always loved beautiful stationery? Well, as I mentioned, it was kind of a bit of an iterative process for me, but I can tell you that I have always loved stationery and journaling. I don't know about anyone else, like give me a thumbs up if this is you as well, but the best thing about like going back to school in September was that you get your new school stationery, right? You get your new pencil case, your notebooks, and all of that, and that was the best thing for me. And when I went back to university as well, it was exactly the same. I'd always treat myself to like a new notebook at the start of term. So yeah, I had always loved stationery, and I always particularly actually really loved journaling. I've journaled on and off pretty much my whole life, and I remember it was what always got me through like really tough times. When I think back to like when I was struggling with things like exam pressure, I was always my journal that I turned to, and I used to write about it. It used to make me feel better. So I've always journaled. So that's why I'm such a huge proponent of like journaling, because like, it's helped me so much, and I do it sort of, you know, pretty much every day still. But how I actually got into doing stationery from, I suppose like where I left that story was I was painting abstract paintings, was like I say, you know, when you start a business, Instagram and Facebook will suddenly start serving you loads of ads and content around how to grow it. And I got a lot of drop shipping companies suddenly pop up on my feed, and drop shipping is essentially where a lot of artists use it. You send in your artwork to them, and then they create products for you. And this whole world kind of opened up to me of sort of potential and possibilities, and I really loved the idea of doing firstly cards and then notebooks, because I thought, you know, you don't really see abstract art on notebooks. When you go to sort of Paper Chase, there's lots of people doing patterns and, you know, illustrations and things, but there wasn't much sort of, you know, a lot of artwork that I could see out there. So I thought that could be really cool, and that's really how I started on that road. And it took a long time for me to find the supplier and the printer I work with now, who I love, who are absolutely brilliant, and kind of go through. In fact, that was the most difficult part actually and I get a lot of questions about this, sort of who do you use, and I can't sort of find anyone to make my products. I want to do something similar. It is really tricky to find somebody, and it is a lot of Googling, reaching out, emailing, asking for samples. I went down, actually I visited my printers before I signed up with them, partly because you want to see where your stuff's made, you want to see the factory, you want to see it's all looks like it's good conditions and it's not, and that, you know, everyone looks happy and all of that. So things like that are really important as well. So yeah, so I have always loved stationery, and yeah, it's felt like quite a natural progression. And I think there was a point where I invested in all of the kit to add all the personalisation. That was really important to me, because I wanted to create things which were really special. And I thought bringing together the art and the personalisation and then like the inspirational quotes really create something which is completely unique, and there isn't anything else like that out there. And also, you know, inspiring, hopefully, when you look at your desk and you think, you know, yes, I can do this. Yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell. I think that was a bit rambly, I hope it wasn't. Okay, next question from Marion. How do you stay motivated? Oh man, okay, so I'm not gonna lie, some days it's harder than others. I had a moment earlier where my Cricut sticker machine was playing up again after all the drama last week that you saw in last week's studio vlog, and I literally just wanted to just be like, that's it, I'm not doing anything ever again. I'm gonna throw it all out the window. Yeah, so you're gonna have bad days, and running a business is definitely like a roller coaster, but it's like that if we set out to achieve any goal, especially one that we haven't done before, and which means we have to push ourselves. So we're gonna always have difficult days. I think what motivates me is I really want to create, and I'm really driven to create and keep putting things out there. I like the challenge that of that designing new products brings. That in itself I find quite motivating to like push myself, and also kind of keeping in mind I kind of have a vision of where I want the business to get to, and I have a really clear vision of us having our own proper workspace and studio, and I find that really motivating, especially when things are feeling really difficult. Just thinking, just think, in a few years this is going to be a place, you're not going to be in your mum and dad's living room anymore. So I find that doing things like that, visualization, and also like remembering where you started as well is always really essential. And ultimately now, this is my income, so I kind of have to keep going, have to sort of stay motivated and keep working on it. But like I say, some days it is harder than others. I think it's also really important to do things like celebrating your wins and remembering just how far you've come, and keep reminding yourself of that, because it's so easy to look around at other people doing similar things or bigger businesses and thinking, oh, why aren't I doing that? Like, I should be like way further ahead than I am right now. And that's really disheartening, and you have to police yourself a lot to not get stuck in that mindset, because it's a bit of a rabbit hole when you get stuck in that. So I used to get, particularly on Instagram, I'd look at other designers when I was first starting out, and I'd be like, oh, my work is rubbish and I'm never going to be that good. And I had to be like, it got to the point where I was like, right, you've stopped doing this or you're banned from Instagram. So there's a little bit of self-discipline there. But yeah, I'd say like just keeping focused on like the bigger picture and being kind to yourself when you do feel like demotivated and like you need a bit of a break, because we all need, I think, a bit of a break sometimes as well. Okay, and final question from Danielle. What software do you use for hand lettering, creating stickers, logos and posts? So I use actually quite a few different bits of software now. My favourite thing is the Apple Pencil, or I feel like it's like a magic wand. And I use Procreate as well, which is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's probably one of the it's the best value investments I've ever made in my business, especially when you compare it to like the cost of like Adobe products. I think I paid £5 to download Procreate, and I use it every single day. I had to teach myself to hand letter on there. It's not easy when you first start, because it's almost like you have to learn how to write again. And honestly, I'll try and pop some of these pictures up, but some of my early attempts at hand lettering were awful. So it took me a really long time to figure it out. I had always like really loved calligraphy and stuff like that, but I'd never like hand lettering on an iPad is just a totally different ball game. So you basically have to learn how to write again, but you do get the hang of it, and it's just practice. Other software I use that for creating all of my designs and Instagram posts and things like that. And before that, before I used to do the hand lettering, I used to use an app called Wordswag, which is really cool. It lets you put quotes in loads of different fonts, so it's really good if you're just starting out and you haven't decided what maybe like your style is, and you can try out like different things on there. And it's really easy. You can create posts for Instagram in minutes. It's so fast, so it's really good, especially if you're like time poor. So yeah, Wordswag is another one I would recommend, and we'll link all these below as well. Other software I use is Photoshop. So a couple of things that Procreate can't do that Photoshop can, which is really useful for. And I also use a couple of the other Adobe products like InDesign to create like things like my worksheets for my course, that you get as part of the planners, the goal setting course. And what else do I use? I use Spark, which is Adobe's kind of version of Canva. And I do use Canva as well, but I use like the free version of that. I sometimes just use it for like creating Pinterest posts and stuff like that. So I use a lot of different software. But yeah, mainly Procreate. I was going to say, if you're going to start with any of the, well, if you're looking at really getting started, you just want to grow your Instagram account and you really just want to create some really easy quotes, I would just get started with Wordswag. If you want to take it to the next level and do things which are maybe a bit more personal, and like slightly less, I'm not going to say generic, but you know what I mean, you want to have more control over things like the colours that you use and the backgrounds and where the text is, and you may be a bit more experienced with typography, I try Procreate. You can add as well to Procreate like custom fonts and stuff like that, so if you're really into getting fonts and stuff from places like Creative Market, you can download them and use them on Procreate as well. So yeah, cool. Well, I hope that was good. I've never done a Q&A like this before, but this has been really fun though. I've really enjoyed it. If you do ever want to like ask me any questions, or if you want me to like do this again, let me know in the comments below, or if you've got any other questions that any of that's just sort of sparked. I'm always happy to talk about them, or like do like separate videos on starting a business or whatever you want to hear about. So yeah. Alright, so I just went on to film and show you the snow. Do you see that runner who just went past? That's serious dedication to the cause. I'm pretty impressed. I would not be going out running today at all. Anyway, as you can see, it snowed. How pretty does it look outside? I absolutely love it when snow is like unbroken. Also, I just bought this brand new camera, which I'm trying out. I'm trying to film myself with it. It's really weird. I'm also having to hold it up really high, and it's quite heavy. So anyway, so it's Thursday and snow tons, and also today my planner pads should be arriving. However, they're apparently coming between 12:30 and 2:30, so I'm hopefully going to be able to unbox them and add them to this studio vlog. That'd be really exciting, although it has snowed a lot, so I'm hoping that the delivery people will be able to still get here. Keep your fingers crossed, because it'd be great if they could arrive today and then get them photographed and up. I can't wait to see them, and yeah, so fingers crossed. Okay, so as you can see, all of the planner pads have now arrived. I always do like a little unboxing thing, but the boxes when they came, because it'd been snowing, they felt quite damp, so it was like a bit of a rush to like get everything out, make sure it wasn't like soaked. Anyway, I think that they're looking absolutely brilliant. So we've got all the different colours now to match with the different crystals hardback notebooks. So I'm going to get these photographed and up on the website over the weekend. This one, Rose Quartz, isn't a new one, but that is now back in stock because it had sold out. So we've got the 2 new designs as well. So yeah, these are looking really good. So I'm going to end the studio vlog for this week here today and get on photographing, getting these up on the website and editing this vlog and getting it on YouTube, because it is studio vlog upload day. I am sticking to Thursdays. So thank you so much for watching. Oh, and there's the phone ringing in the background. Alright, spam call again. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this vlog, and yeah, let me know like what you'd like to see more of if you're enjoying watching these, and I will see you all next week.